My name's Kevin. I'm from Black
Okay.
Records. Thanks for giving up 20 minutes or 25 minutes of your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Just so for people who don't really know you and your music, how did you guys get together? How did you form Pinch Points?
I used to be in a shitload of bands. We all kind of wound down and stopped doing stuff. And I had a bunch of extra material and then went hunting for people. Got Acacia on bass after seeing whatever other bands play at a house party. Got a mate of ours, Zev, on drums, and got Jordan. But Zev's American and his visa expired and he left. And then we got Izzy, and Izzy's been with us ever since.
Fantastic. Do you start off with nothing and go, all right, we're just going to make some music and see what happens? Or do you have like a kind of an agenda?
The first batch of songs were written by Adam, and he kind of brought them to the group. So I feel like, and I think you were trying to go for a specific sound with those songs maybe, and then that would have set the tone for the subsequent songs we started to write. It kind of, I feel like in a way we always revert back to some of those original ideas, and that's like inspired what we do, but now maybe we're veering into different territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the foundation to start with, but I think when we're writing now, it's not necessarily an agenda, but maybe we all have collective ideas that we want to express in some way, shape or form. So we'll try and express that together. I think we don't really know what's going to happen when we start playing. It just comes naturally.
I think there's a few things like sound-wise that might unite a lot of the songs. Like the sound doesn't change very much. Like we don't use a million pedals. It's always like clean guitars, and we all like to sing, and sing. It's more like shout and say stuff. Like, and it's all pretty fast. I guess they're like uniting elements. I don't know. It feels like it has a nervous energy, but I think the newer songs were maybe breaking that a bit more, and anything's really up for, discussion, I guess, like musical discussion.
Cool. And of course, someone or you guys describe your music as somewhat similar to Parquet Courts, which is fantastic because they're awesome. Who do you look at and go, wow?
A lot of the earlier riffs on the first tape that I wrote were pretty heavily inspired by this hardcore band called Lubricant.
Yeah. From
Singapore, I believe. And I just really liked the way that their songs worked, but wanted to try it without distortion. Then we all kind of fold in a bunch of other things. Like, I guess there's a lot of talking heads in the way we sing.
Sure. Yeah. I guess we're all just inspired by other people that are in this scene, and, getting, when we could go to shows, like seeing other people perform their own stuff and like, oh, that's a great riff, or like, oh, I really loved what they did there. And that's pretty much what unites us all, getting to play shows with other bands that are great. And
yeah, I think it's mainly even our friends that really inspire us as well, like all like the bands in Melbourne. And like when I first started playing music, I was super young, so like going out to pubs and seeing like just local bands play, I think was like a huge like inspiration to me personally in evolving my music taste and in evolving the way I play and wanting to like emulate a way some certain person played.
Cool. Yeah. So are you going to say something, crochet lady?
Knitting.
Knitting. Sorry. What are you knitting?
I'm addicted. It's a scarf. This is supposed to be a scarf. My mum, she said she was sending me wool as a birthday present, but my birthday is not for months, so I think she's bored, and I don't know what she's thinking, but it's fun.
Hey, there's worse habits to have, I'm sure.
I'm getting ready for winter. I'm not going to buy any winter clothes. Was I going to say something? I just agree with Izzy. Yeah, I think I grew up in the country, and when I moved to Melbourne, I don't know, I feel like when you're disconnected from an actual good scene that cities have growing up in the country, I would listen to like all these big rock bands like Nirvana and Foo Fighters and all that stuff kind of got me interested in music. And then you come to Melbourne and you discover the underground scene, and it's more exciting because they're actual people you can connect with and make friends with. And bands like Laser Tits and Wet Lips and Cable Ties and lots of those people probably started off my interest in like social commentary style punk that was relevant to things that we were all experiencing.
Cool. And politics, is that an important part of your art?
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know how much our music is actually going to change anything. Like, no new laws or anything are going to come into effect, but like, because of our work. But I think it's more about, you know, as a bunch of like fairly secure for the time being and privileged individuals, that it's more about drawing attention to things that a lot of people kind of take for granted. You know, have a laugh at yourself. So I guess we kind of wanted to have that political angle without it being a kind of a high horse to lecture people from.
I think in a lot of music, people always want to express what they're angry at. And I think politics can really be a point where people have something to change or want to see change or want to draw a light on injustices that they might see within the community. And I think like a lot of people who write similar music to us will probably have like a same point of view of that. Like, you want to be able to express yourself because you don't feel like there's much else that you can do with the injustices of the world.
I think that for the last 3 years I've been coming to watch, as an older person, to watch bands like yours. And it's truth that amongst other things, right? But it's a place where you can come and experience people sharing their art in a really truthful way. And I think that's missing out of our society in so many ways. And I just think that's one of the beautiful things about what your band and other bands, you know, give us as fans, an opportunity to experience some kind of truth.
Yeah, I think it's a good place for politics to exist without the kind of hypocrisy or self-dealing that you see when politics happens with actual politicians. And it's about, I guess it's probably the thing I think is most positive about the punk scene, particularly in Melbourne, is the way that it makes politics it kind of, sometimes it can be a bit heavy on it, but it doesn't demand, but it kind of like requests people to take politics personally, as opposed to politics that is something that happens to other people, I think.
Yeah.
And Melbourne is an awesome, I mean, as you pointed out, it's just a wonderful place for music. In terms of future, are there any bands that you would really like to support?
We've been pretty lucky, like getting to tour with TFS and like, you know, playing with Amel, Cable Ties, like, you know, some of these bands that are sort of the big Oz punk bands. That's been really cool. I think maybe internet. Have you got a name on your list?
Yeah, I really want to support Divide and Dissolve.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't actually recall us very often discussing bands that are kind of like bucket list bands that we would even want to play with. I feel like we've kind of, throughout the career of Pinch Points, often just kept doing what we're doing, and then when opportunities like that come along, we kind of seem pleasantly surprised or something. It's like, wow, cool, yeah, we really would like to play with Amel and the Sniffers, but we weren't previously like, man, how can we get on Amel and the Sniffers' album launch lineup or whatever. So I feel like I haven't even thought about it, but I should.
Oh, you know who would be amazing to play with, like internationally? Sheer Mag. That would be sick.
Sheer Mag, yes.
That would be
Yeah, actually, Sheer Mag, when we saw they were coming, I tried my hardest to try and get on that bill, but the show didn't even end up happening. But I think one band I really always wanted to play with was Hexstep, and I remember like complaining to Adam in the kitchen, like this would be like a year or so ago, like how can we play a show with them? Like what does it take? Like, they seem to be like this really cool band that only play with like other really cool, great bands. Like, I want to play with them. And then obviously we did. And then like, we're in the midst of organizing another one before coronavirus. But yeah, it's just funny how those things change.
Cool. So I get a feeling that you're kind of like, you know, you love your art, you do your thing, but you don't believe your own PR, you don't believe your own bullshit. You're just trying to keep things real, which is really cool. It's really super cool.
Thanks.
Who was it? Tim Shield said to us when he saw us at Big Sound, what did he say? He said he was like, keep the humility as long as you can, or something like that. He was like, you guys actually seem shocked when people give you compliments.
That's wonderful.
I feel like we always are like that just because, you know, like we're just some random kids playing music together in our back of the house. Like there's nothing really that special about us.
Have you ever met one of your kind of idols and been kind of blown away, like, and speechless? Or
Courtney Barnett.
I've never like people have said that to me. Like Angie was like to me once that she met Courtney Barnett and that she was like super blown away. But I've never met Courtney before, and I feel like everybody's met her.
I haven't met her.
From you.
Oh wait, no, I have actually.
Yeah. Oh,
There you go.
it's just kids.
Oh god.
And Marlon Williams.
Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
Marlon and Courtney. I'm like, hello.
I had this weird moment, like with another band in Europe in February, like checking into some hotel in the Netherlands, and like Thurston Moore is like playing the same bill, and he's just like in the lobby, just chilling out, and I was like, "What the hell? Like, what? Was it the same festival? What? Like, I didn't obviously say anything. There was just like a weird moment of like, all right, I guess this is a thing now."
Yeah.
Like, cool.
You all seem really super positive, which is fantastic. I'm mindful of time because I know you've got to go at 2:30. But in terms of the future, can you share anything, or is it all up in the air?
We're working on a record. Well, we were working. We're trying to continue working on a record, despite the fact that we can't see each other. Yeah, that's meant to come out later this year. We're not sure. It's hard to plan anything.
Yeah, I've been trying to like keep doing stuff, like that cooking video, just like some sort of content for people. I don't know, what does the band do in these times? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just literally playing Metallica riffs at home on my guitar. Like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, we've got a lot. Jordan and I have a lot of material for sound checks.
Yeah.
Great.
We have big plans that have all been put on hold. So we were like starting to plan. Essentially, at the end of last year, we wanted to plan out the whole of 2020, and we had a grand plan. It was like, we're going to do this. We're going to write at this period. We're going to record in this period. We're going to release in this period. We're going to tour in this period. And now it's like, everything's up in the air. Who knows?
You know what? As soon as those restrictions get lifted and we are able to actually see each other, even if it's just like goes back to stage 2, we're going to have a band practice, I reckon, like that day.
Yes.
Yeah, be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, all we can say is we will write a record, we will release it, we will tour it in more countries than just Australia. These things will happen. We just don't know when.
That's the beautiful thing. And you are super positive. And out of this, are there any positivities that you can take away from what's going on at the moment?
Oh, like silver linings and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got a dog.
Yeah.
You didn't have a dog before this?
Nah. No. It's like the pandemic for me is pretty much like it's just paternity.
Beautiful. That's a great outcome for the dog and you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had more time on our hands, which, you know, is a good thing, despite all of the...
It can be a valuable time to like really like sit back and think and like reset
Right.
just the way you think and write and all that kind of stuff, like how to be creative in a time where it feels like really like hard to be creative. You just got to kind of like push through that, and I think it's a good like learning stage for people to kind of like take a time and sit back and be like, all right, I guess I can do it this way now and try different things. So that's for me the silver lining.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you very, very much for being so generous.
No worries.
No worries.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to seeing you guys playing live soon.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Good luck with the knitting. See you. Bye.
Thanks, Kev.
Cheers. Bye.